weeping on camera, it's clickbait. Hey y'all, it's Chimdi. It's Monday night, and I realized that I've made a huge mistake. I'm overcorrecting. The pendulum has swung too far, all right? I went from having a summer that was incredibly chill. You know, I had no responsibilities. I was resting and napping and reading and walking amongst the trees and staring at the clouds and hanging out on my balcony and living what was truly a very beautiful life. It got a little boring, but it was a very beautiful life. I went from that to having a part-time job and making a video a day. And the part-time job, y'all, that's important to me. This video a day, less so, I'm gonna be honest, okay? And so I've been thinking like, all right, do I wanna just quit? It would be amazing if my brand became that I quit things, because then, you know, if I ever made promises, y'all be like, hey, if she comes through, amazing. If not, this is her brand. So I was like, do I just want to get on out of here and be like, listen, y'all, listen to your truth, follow your heart when the spirit says no, and the body will say no if you don't listen. So just go ahead and you say no, right? Or do I want to power through? And what I was thinking about is, you know, normally I try to edit during a very small window when I can use my natural light. Right now I have a very advanced 2-lamp setup happening right now. You normally have a very small window. I like for my sister to be at work so I can just, you know, have the quiet and not be worried about, you know, either disturbing her or having her movements be in the background. And then I like to script out my videos, and I like to ideally have B-roll. I like to have them be highly edited. And I was watching the lovely Marguerite's video. We did a collab video where she was working on her thumbnails and titles, and her editing, y'all, is literally top-notch, next level. Like, it's so, so good. And I was watching this and literally I was getting tired. I was just like, and I literally asked her, I was like, how long does this take? Because I can just see how much editing goes into it, you know? You know, folks in my comment have been like, give us a vlog, let's get an editing tutorial, and those things take so long to edit. And I was just like, oh. And that's when I realized. And then I was watching one of Unique's videos, and she did like an old school sit down, get ready with me video where she was like doing her makeup and just talking about her journey. And she said, she was like, I want this to feel like old school YouTube, you know? And also, I referenced this in yesterday's video about pretty privilege, but I talked about, you know, I seen the comment section on this video that was talking about like the YouTube algorithm and stuff. It was Nappy Headed Jojoba's video. And so I was like, oh, let me like, you know, I kept being recommended it, so good on YouTube's algorithm for doing that. So I was like, let me go ahead and watch it. It was great, obviously, and it also was tightly edited and presumably tightly scripted. You know, it just kind of affirmed that we're out here creating content, doing our best, but the algorithm and the platform has a lot of control when it comes to what gets pushed out. And you know, ultimately my belief is that what people are supposed to see, they're gonna see. That's God's plan, really. But it made me think like, yeah, it doesn't make sense for me to be burning myself out to get on here and create content if it's not gonna serve, it's not serving me. It's serving YouTube, the platform, at my expense. That's kind of how it was feeling. And so I was like, yeah, that's not the move. So I was like, all right, I still want to make content. I really do want to finish this daily challenge. I think it's a really powerful challenge for myself, because I do like finishing things. I like committing to things and seeing them through, you know? So I was like, all right, what's the way to do that? By the way, I'm sitting on a rocking chair that's always here in the living room, and I always move it out of the living room space so that it's not in the frame. So that's why you've never seen this rocking chair before in your life. Yeah, so I was like, okay, what's the way to do it? And I realized it is to make an old school YouTube video. And when I joined YouTube back in 2017, in the past, I missed that original wave of YouTube, the like early 2000s YouTube that was just like actually going on your webcam and like chatting. I missed that wave. So when I started YouTube with a Canon T5i and with a separate audio input, and you know, like I was really trying to hit YouTube and like, you know, go hard. And I think there's a real beauty and innocence and joy that comes with just hanging out with somebody. I recently learned about Emma Chamberlain thanks to Cass in the comments, and she was talking about how like you know, it's hard to have good audio quality when you're just like recording on your bed, you know? And that's where like a lot of folks start, is you just start with what you have and then you work up from there. When I tested YouTube, when I started making videos, I was just hanging out. I was just hanging out with my, I was just testing lighting. None of this will ever probably see the light of day. But so I had those videos, but I never had this part of YouTube, which is like, I'm just gonna sit here and give y'all a little update on my day. We're gonna hang out. Got a glass of water. It's nighttime, all right, so I don't have the gorgeous natural light. I don't have any extra lighting setups. It's just us hanging out. And one thing that Nappy Headed Jojoba talked about in her video, as YouTube is trying to become like these other platforms like TikTok and Instagram, like you can get away with a much lower level of video production on those platforms. That's not the case with YouTube. With YouTube, it takes a lot and people expect more, right? They just expect higher stuff because there are people who have whole teams that help them create videos. And so, it doesn't really make sense for a lot of creators to be pouring into YouTube only to like turn around this content that's only going to be like, relevant for a day or two, right? It just made me think about like what is my role in all of this? How far are we in? Oh, we're pretty deep in. I don't know. Okay. I was gonna like do like a summary where I talked about like what this video is gonna be about, but I think we're pretty far in. So if you're not here for me, you probably left a while ago. Yeah, in this video, I just wanna kind of hang out and chat because I realized like that is what I want to do, truly. And if I think about where power lies, like YouTube is great as a platform, but its power lies in the people who create content for the platform. My former organization is actually in the midst of unionizing, which is very dope. I wasn't sure to what extent I wanted to like mention that on here and use my platform to help build support, because obviously one of my most successful videos, and arguably like 10,000 of my subscribers, are a direct function of me being like, F that job, basically. So I was like, do I want to make it? Because people still work there. Just because I quit doesn't mean everyone quit, and I'd love to maintain those relationships. So I don't want to like burn those bridges. But it is really interesting because I think getting older for some people, for me, is about, okay, it's really easy to like not take a stand on things and to just, walking the middle path is amazing, when it comes to your spiritual journey. And I think when it comes to doing the right thing, I think you have to commit all the way to walking with God and to doing what you think, what you feel called is the right thing and is the love-based thing. And so, yeah, as I just think about the power that comes from the people taking a stand and doing what they think is right versus just quitting, which I love to do. I literally sent emails to like the management at my last job, and I was like, I think it's so admirable that the staff of this organization is choosing to form a union instead of quit, because I love to quit a job. It's wild. It is very, very wild. I think because I believe I won't work in policy again, I felt comfortable sending those emails, but my heart was still beating. I was like, dang, because you know what it's like. There's this idea about like, never wanting to burn any bridges, always wanting to have people who are powerful on your good side. And I just realized like, that is why a lot of systems are the way they are. It's because people who have the power willingly give up their power, and they think that things aren't how they truly are, which is that, if you want change, you can make change. And I was like, what do I as a creator want to do? Like, what is my way of rebelling against the algorithm, instead of just leaving and quitting, because that was like the energy from that video was like, that's why you're just not going to see me on here anymore. I'm just going to not be on this platform anymore, which I think is such a bummer, because YouTube is awesome and there's so many cool, like I've just learned so much and gotten so much. So the idea of like people fleeing because of the algorithm just like does not make sense to me. So I feel like I want to like do a manifesto that's like, let's take back YouTube, hashtag not the algorithm, not my YouTube, or so, I don't know. I'm not, this isn't my forte, but really just around like rebelling by just creating the content you want to create and really not letting the algorithm keep you from doing what you want to do. One of the things I did was I downloaded the Google Chrome extension that blocks seeing your own analytics and also other people's analytics. So when I log onto YouTube now, I don't see any numbers. I don't see what anyone has, like I don't see the number of subscribers for anyone. I don't see anyone's view counts. I don't see, the most I'll see, the only hint I'll know of like how successful someone's video is is their likes and is like their comments, but otherwise I have no sense of like how like popular any videos are. And it's allowed me to get back into watching creators who have like way more subscribers than me and view counts than me, because I'm not like in my head thinking like they've got numbers that are so much bigger than yours and all this kind of stuff. And so I just want to encourage folks who are like feeling that pressure of the algorithm to just definitely get that extension and just rebel, you know? Rebel in your PJs and in your hoodie and in your bad lighting and with whatever camera setup you have, and just create content, you know? If the idea is that we can bend and twist and try to manipulate ourselves and it's not gonna matter because the YouTube algorithm isn't gonna push our stuff out, then just make what you wanna make anyway. Just like hang out and chat, you know? And if you've been on my channel for a bit, you know how much I've talked about wanting to have a channel that was just a hangout and chat channel. And I still feel the pressure to not do that, you know? Because even the folks who make just talking videos, they're still very highly produced, you know? And maybe it's just peak indulgence, and it could be, and maybe I just need to be indulgent for a while, but because I was gonna say no one's paying me to do this. I get the AdSense revenue, but you know, so I'm like, because no one's actually paying me to do this and actually I can do whatever I want, there's a non-zero chance that just for the rest of the 2 weeks, I'm just gonna only make videos where it's me in a hoodie hanging out and just catching y'all up on my day, you know? And if folks don't wanna watch it, they don't have to watch it, which is really cool that we are free. That we are free. And I do expect YouTube to not, well, I mean, maybe YouTube will push this out, but I am expecting that, like, you know, this isn't a clear cut, here's how to learn X, Y, or Z in this amount of time kind of video. Things that I already have like in production, I'm gonna still put out, but I'm just realizing that it's like nothing is worth burning out, you know? Like I didn't think I needed to learn that lesson again after burning out earlier this year. But I clearly still do, because I put myself back in that exact same situation. And so clearly I need to remind myself, Chimdi, you know, it's not worth it. I don't actually watch my own videos that often. So I haven't seen the video I made about quitting that many times. I've seen it a few times, you know, it's great, but not that many times. But one of the things I remember saying is that like, that the video was for me. It was for me. I'm future Chimdi. Hey girl, I'm future Chimdi. And I was supposed to learn to not burn out anymore. And here I am in a situation that's very close to it. So I'm just like, all right, let's be proactive. And I knew it was a problem because I was reading A Return to Love, and she talks about how we should never do things for money. We should just do things for love. We should just do things because God wants us to do them. And you know, when we start doing things for money, it corrupts our creativity, basically. And then the thought becomes, how do we just make more money with that thing? And I've been trying to not do that with YouTube, but that's what's been happening. Like, I do think that was the core reason behind doing this challenge, was like, I want to just make a bunch of content so folks will be reminded that my channel exists, and YouTube will push out my stuff and my channel will blow up, and I'll get all the sponsorships and I'll get all the, you know, like all this stuff. And I'm just like, that's just not the recipe. I had someone ask me what I'd learned from like my first week or so of doing this challenge, and that was the biggest thing I learned, was like, if this is what it takes to be successful on YouTube, like creating this much content at this, you know, at this level, then it's not gonna happen for me, because I don't like this. Like, I don't enjoy this. It's so cool to keep seeing like day after day a new video from me. The process is not fun, and if the process isn't fun, then there's no point, you know? And I remember I watched a video from a woman who, she did that series that was all around like, it was your college major, like what your college major would wear like with outfits and stuff. And so, you know, very highly produced, same thing. And she references in one of her videos that like about once a week is the level of like sanity that she's found for her. And I think at that point I had just transitioned to doing 2 videos a week. So I was like, well, I'm able to do these 2 videos a week. And then I think now I truly have pushed it. And so I think I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to reevaluate, you know? And she also put out a video that was like, I'm burning out. I made too many promises that I cannot keep. I'm going through it. Like, this is hard. And she was out here weeping on the camera. And I'm just not trying to get to the point, y'all. If I'm weeping on camera, it's clickbait. If I'm weeping, I'm just saying it now because I don't doubt. I was gonna say I don't doubt that I'll do it. What I mean to say is there's a non-zero chance that you will see a video where I'm just weeping on camera. And it'll either be because I've gone on such an emotional healing journey that I really feel comfortable crying on camera, you know, and showcasing my vulnerability with you all. And I believe it's helpful and it's healing to show that side of myself, you know, and to get emotional talking about that thing. But current me is very, very cynical about weeping on camera. So if I'm weeping on camera, I'm like, this is gonna get so many views, you know? So to me, I'm like, I'm trying to get to the point in my life where I'm living with such joy and peace that if I'm crying on camera, they are tears of joy. I'm not crying because I'm stressed and I'm overwhelmed. I'm crying because I'm just like, God is so good. And when I think about how good God is, it brings me to tears because it's blowing me away. And I think that is very possible, all right? My camera's about to die, so this is a good time as I need to wrap it up. Point is, I'm gonna keep making videos for this challenge, so I don't wanna quit, but the quality is gonna go down. And we're gonna call it old school YouTube because I never got a chance to do that and I deserve that, okay? So I hope y'all like it. If not, that's a bummer, but honestly, it's okay because we don't all have to like everything and YouTube is free. Unless you pay for the premium version, and low-key, they're scamming you, but that's another story. Okay,